I'm Neil. This is Youth on Subjects of the World. Today we're going to be talking about Brexit, the British exit from the European Union. Now, so I'd be really surprised if a lot of people don't know what we're talking about. This has been a hot topic since the referendum was held. And what was it, like 2016?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, 2016.
Like that.
And yeah, so in a very close vote, I think it was 52 to 48, the referendum was in favor of leaving the European Union. Now, there were a lot of controversies around this referendum, like it was supposed to be just a political play for like the UKIP party, which is the United Kingdom Independence Party. They were just trying to do like a political play. It was just like an intention grab or something like that. No one actually thought that it would happen. In the second it passed, like the leaders of UKIP resigned. No one wanted to be prime minister. I think David Cameron was prime minister at the time. David Cameron resigned. Mm-hmm. It was pretty insane. Like no one actually expected this to happen.
Yeah.
And it's also muddied up by the fact that the referendum wasn't actually legally binding. It was more of an official government opinion poll. Mm-hmm. But the government still, well, there's a controversy now if the government should actually execute on that because they do have a choice because it wasn't legally binding.
Mm-hmm. Do they have to if they want to? If they like?
No, unless it's not legally binding. The referendum was just like an opinion poll.
Mm-hmm. Interesting.
It was basically a massive opinion poll.
So it was just seeing what people wanted. It didn't necessarily put anything into action.
Right. But it wasn't marketed that way. So that's why people.
It wasn't. So it was market. Yeah, because that's definitely not how I thought of it.
So everyone, I think most people thought like you did. They thought like, okay, if this is for real, right?
This passes, then it's just waiting for it to.
Right.
Happen.
Then we exit from the European Union.
Yeah, that's what I just.
That's not how it was marketed to the public, and that's not how it. That's how it was marketed to the public. So now there's an absolute just ridiculous amount of things going on where people resigning, new people coming into power. Just recently, Boris Johnson's coming to power, and he wants to go for a no-deal Brexit, which is a huge, huge controversy.
And that's just like there's nothing happens. We're just not just like America's not part of the European Union.
Exactly. That's exactly how it'll happen. Now, here's the problem. The main problem is, first of all, none of this is actually good for business. Like the free trade the European Union offers is like really good. I think they are going to protect the status of foreigners in the country, but because they'll no longer have like the free association pact, like foreigners won't be able to live in their country anymore, and they won't be able to live in other countries, like theoretically. But I think they're gonna like keep that.
It's pretty
protected there. What?
Seems like really annoying. Like for the people that live in England. Besides just like a fucking ego. Oh, look at us, we're not part of the European Union. I mean, I don't know the whole. Like, is there any upside to it economically?
So no, it's an absolute train wreck economically. The businesses suffer terribly.
So what's their whole? I mean, they have to have some bullshit reason to say why they're doing it.
The politicians did it for an attention grab. Now, why did the people actually vote for it? Well, some people. Well, first of all, it was 52 to 48. So it was like extremely close, and apparently, it was. I don't know if anyone really freaking knows, to be honest. Like a lot of people were shocked that it passed. Mm-hmm. But apparently a lot of it was, I mean, I'm assuming a good portion of those people who just didn't know what the fuck it was. Like, okay, exit the European Union, or who gives a yes. Like, no one fucking knows, right? Like some of the people had legitimate things. Like they didn't want, so the EU has its own parliament and it makes its own laws that every EU member has to follow. But the thing is, the UK had a massive amount and still has a massive amount of power in that parliament. So they get the good end of that bargain. Yeah. And I guess people didn't like the idea. I don't know. Maybe it's just the whole, like, you've had a lot of, things in the world about immigrants and stuff. Refugee crisis, Donald Trump in America. they don't want people just coming into the country without any visa or anything like that, and then being able to stay for as long as they want and live there.
Mm-hmm.
And also, and yeah, I guess that's those would be the main issues. A lot of them, I think, I talked to someone from England, and they said that it was like he said it was like to come like something like a disgruntled farmers, and farmers are actually affected by it, but like they just like people out in rural areas who like they don't know about the European Union, they're just dissatisfied with the system, like, you know what, fuck it, let's just burn to the ground.
Yeah, it's like the same thing with Trump.
Care.
It's like, oh, I don't give a shit anymore. I'm just gonna.
But they just don't care. They're like, okay, I'll vote for it. Like, and the problem is now the main problems are. Let me just open my blinds because it's really dark in here. One sec. Okay. All right. So the main problems are this. So first of all, the European Union is comprised of 4 countries. Or sorry, UK, United Kingdom is comprised of 4 countries: England, Scotland, Wales, and Northern Ireland.
Yeah.
And thing is, everybody in Scotland, or not everybody, but the vast majority of people in Scotland voted to stay. The vast majority of the vote to leave only came from England. So the majority of the Scottish people, they wanted to stay. Vast majority. I think same thing with Northern Ireland and Wales. I think maybe split. I think Wales also was same thing with England. But the thing is that if there have been referendums in Scotland before to leave the European Union, and they've only narrowly failed. Or sorry, Scotland to leave the United Kingdom, and they've
Scotland has has not a majority, but a fair amount of the economic growth.
Scotland is a lot of them are nationalists. Like they don't like the English. They don't like, and they just want to be independent.
Yeah.
So now, on top of Brexit, if the UK leaves the European Union, Scotland is almost definitely going to leave the UK.
Mm-hmm.
And also Wales, there are a bunch of farmers that are going to be impacted by this. And then in Northern Ireland, so back in the day, so there's this thing called the Schengen area, where in the European Union, where you can just cross borders without any passport control. If you've been to Europe, you'll know this because you can just walk across a border and there's no passport control. It's like states. They just walk to another state, except now the United Kingdom has
any border. Have you ever is there an actual border you have to put
No, literally it's like a street.
Oh, really?
It's nothing. Like there's an absolutely zero border control.
Mm-hmm. Interesting.
But, yes, very interesting. But so the United Kingdom, though, is one of the very few countries in the EU who have famously opted out of the Schengen area, so that you do actually have to get your passport checked when you fly to the UK.
Yeah, I thought
from a European country, but this created a problem because Northern Ireland, and there's always been a huge controversy with people in Northern Ireland being separated from the Republic of Ireland. Let me just show. I don't know. Let me just go to Google Maps just so everybody knows exactly what I'm talking about, because it's easier to visualize. You know what I mean? I don't want anyone to not know what I'm talking about. So, Dylan, do you personally know the geography of all of Northern Ireland and everything?
I
mean, it's pretty.
I want to say I do. I don't know. Let me see.
Let me just. I'm just gonna bring it up on Google Earth, and then. Okay. I'm just gonna. All right. So this is the United Kingdom. Okay. This here is England, right? Again. Yep. So all right. So this entire landmass in red is the United Kingdom. This is the Republic of Ireland here. That's not lit up in red.
Yeah. Didn't they have like a war or something? I mean, I know that sounds really dumb.
No, right. It was terrorist activity. What I don't know how it was formed, but here's all right. So here's England, Wales. Again, England, Wales, part of the United Kingdom. Scotland, also part of the United Kingdom. Northern Ireland, also part of the United Kingdom. And I think you can see the
I love
problem.
how Northern Ireland, their photo was just a bridge.
That's funny, yeah.
All of Northern Ireland is a bridge.
Yeah. But so okay, so here's I think you can probably see the problem though. You can most likely see the problem. And that is that the Republic of this entire the Irish Isle, the island
Half
of
of it is like not half of it, but obviously, but
yeah, a good chunk of it is Northern Ireland, and then the rest of the Republic of Ireland. But the United Kingdom is not part of the Schengen area, so they would want a border here, right?
hmm
So they did have a border here, but that created many problems. The Irish Liberation Army or something, they're like a terrorist group who like did bombings and shit all in Northern Ireland. Like they did not want a border because like for as long as they can remember, there was no border. This was just Ireland, right?
hmm
So now because they're in the European Union stuff, they actually had one. I think I might be totally freaking wrong here. They have one exception to the Schengen area. You can go through Ireland and Northern Ireland.
hmm
And so that is the exception. Now here's the problem. If they leave the European Union, they don't want a loophole where someone can come into Northern Ireland and be in the UK and go to anywhere else, right?
Yeah.
So they do not want people to be able to easily go into Northern Ireland and then by extension get to Great Britain, right? But they also don't want you to go into Northern Ireland, be free to go into Northern Ireland, and then you have to get a passport check and go through immigration to get to another part of the United Kingdom. So one of the proposals is that, okay, they can go to Northern Ireland, no problem, but then they have to get their passport checked again to go to the United Kingdom. And it's like, well, we don't want a wall.
Yeah, it'd be like putting a wall through a country.
Yeah, we don't want a metaphorical wall around our own country. And then the Northern Ireland and Ireland are like, okay, well, we don't want a wall around Northern Ireland because if we do that, then we're going to have terrorist activity again, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I think you can see where this is going. Northern proposals for Northern Ireland to leave the UK as well. So this would just be, I mean, you're basically seeing the entire United Kingdom dissolving.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's what's at stake here. And what Boris Johnson, new prime minister, is going for, no deal Brexit, is basically, I mean, it's gonna cause all these problems. A no deal Brexit will, and the problem is every other deal has deal breakers for the United Kingdom.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's an absolute shit show. Now the Labour Party, there are multiple parties in the UK. But I know there are multiple parties in the US too, but only two of them actually hold any offices, literally, not figuratively, literally only two parties hold like any major office.
Yeah.
But in the United Kingdom, there are two major parties that hold the majority of seats in the House of Commons.
Mm-hmm.
But there are other parties too, but that do actually hold seats. But the two major parties are the conservative ones, or the Conservatives, and the Labour Party. The Conservatives, no one actually wants Brexit. That's the thing. Boris Johnson actually does want Brexit though, but it's just kind of like executing the will of the people kind of. So there are like people in the Conservative Party who actually want Brexit, people who kind of don't really know. Then there's the Labour Party that really don't want it. So the Labour Party right now in recent news is trying to like pass a motion of no confidence, which is a unique thing in parliamentary procedure, where they can literally say the parliament can vote to say we don't have confidence in the government and we're basically just going to redo everything. Like basically Boris Johnson will be kicked out.
Yeah.
I don't think it's going to pass. But, it just shows the absolute chaos in the United Kingdom.
Yeah, it's almost worse than here.
It is worse than here. It is, well, I don't know.
It's just crazy.
It's crazy.
I mean, I feel like it'd be weird having to split up America. I can't, like, somebody's going to get pissed off.
Yeah. All right, Dylan, you said do you have any information on this? You said you watched like a video or something.
Not really. It was mainly just talking about Boris Johnson and like how all these conservatives are just happy because he's finally somebody that, quote unquote, wants actual Brexit, so he'll actually be doing something about it. Like Theresa May, Brexit was really bad because Theresa May didn't really care about it, but but Boris Johnson actually cares about it, so it'll actually be good now.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know if that really matters.
Also, can I just show you, like, I don't know what's going on with Donald. He looks like Donald Trump's cousin.
Yeah, and also they were talking about, like, what Boris Johnson will it be? Will it be, like, I guess he's gone through a few phases as a, like, will he be the happy-go-lucky mayor of London type? Will he be, like, the hard-ass Republican, I'm Donald Trump and I'm going to suck Donald Trump's dick? And then, or will he be, I don't know, like, kind of like the reasonable version of Boris Johnson? You know, like, you've seen that picture of him on that zip line, right?
I have.
Yeah, like, will he be like that, or? It's so funny to look at. Why did he ever think that would be a good idea?
Most powerful man in Europe, folks. The most powerful man in Europe.
Ugh.
Or at least the most controversial and the most watched.
I don't know, he probably is the most powerful man in Europe. Boris Poppins.
But yeah, so it's pretty crazy.
Mm-hmm.
I think after Trump, not after Trump, but the whole Trump era of politics, the whole world has taken a really big conservative swing.
Mm-hmm. Yes, for sure.
Which is probably why this passed.
Mm-hmm. I'm sure.
Why this passed. I'm not saying it's a good or bad thing, but it definitely has.
I mean, it's just like, it's the same crisis is going on everywhere, like these ultra Republican, nutso douchebag characters.
Yeah.
Where they're just, like, pretending to not be racist. You can trust me, we're not racist.
And here's the thing.
Oh, that seems shit.
So the elections in the UK, I think, are in November. But they want to do Brexit by October 31st. You can see the problem there.
What did you say?
They want to have full Brexit happen by October 31st.
Oh, really?
On October 31st.
Interesting.
The elections are in November.
Mm-hmm.
So,
yeah. Well, it looks like it'll be fun. Not for us.
all right. What do you think is going to happen, Dylan?
What do I think's gonna happen? I don't know. He'll probably get impeached. I mean, like, that's what's happened to all the other bunch of them. But I don't know. It probably will leave.
I don't know if Boris Johnson's going to resign.
There's
He
a
kind of
decent-
seems like he would.
I don't know. Yeah, maybe he's too much of a Donald Trump, but I don't know.
He's definitely less crazy than Trump, though.
Definitely. He definitely seems like, I mean, at least he's been in a politics. I mean, not like it's a great thing,
I'll
but
show you the difference between American politics and British politics. When you can keep talking, but I'm gonna find a little clip. Do you want to keep talking, Dylan?
yeah, I do.
Then do it. I'm trying to find this video.
Okay. Yeah, so I mean, I think it'll be really interesting to see what happens, though. Especially just in Europe in general. Like, it seems so weird, like, how backwards it is from America. Like, I know I was talking, me and Neil were hanging out today, how I was on Reddit and I read this thing. It was, it was the alt-right group in Germany was having a gay pride parade in a majority Muslim neighborhood to piss off the Muslims. Like, a gay pride parade. I was like, what is this?
All right, so I made a pretty politically incorrect joke with Dylan about how, like, okay. So take a radical Muslim. I'm not saying all Muslims, okay? So don't get mad. A radical Islamic extremist, okay? And then take a Tea Party Republican from the U.S., okay? What are can you spot the differences? both. Okay, so one of them, right, the Tea Party Republican, they don't like homosexuals because of their religious beliefs. Not homosexual religious beliefs because of their religious beliefs. They don't like homosexuals because they don't believe it agrees with their religion, and they also think it's unnatural. The Islamic extremists believe that they don't like homosexuals because it's unnatural and it goes against their religion. Okay. When a Tea Party Republican disagrees with someone or rather some organization, especially if it's on the other side of the world, their first thing they want to do is have a drone strike and kill all of them and blow them up.
Mm-hmm.
An Islamic extremist. Are you seeing where I'm going with this? Like, Jesus Christ. I mean, it's the problem with extremist politics is it always gets down to the most freaking stupid level of like, you disagree with my religion, I disagree with your religion. Let's kill each other.
I feel like that's most of human history.
I know.
That's one of my favorite George Carlin quotes is like in the 10 Commandments. He's talking about the 10 Commandments. And he's like, thou shalt not commit murder or whatever. Like talking about all the dumb 10 Commandments. Is like, the majority of the people that have been killed in this world have been killed in the name of God. It's like, so we can get that one off we can get that out of the way right off the bat.
All right. Let me tell you this. The Prime Minister.
Will you apologise for what you comment?
You can have a cup of tea.
Will you apologise for your
Would you like
comment?
a cup of tea?
Yeah,
Go
sure.
on, have a cup of tea.
Thank you. Do you
I-
regret?
I-
Do you
Would you like a
regret?
cup of
Do
tea?
you regret your comments? Do you regret your comments? sir?
Definitely, go on, have a cup of tea.
Thank you very
There
much.
you go. There you go.
Do you regret your comments, sir?
I want you to have a cup of tea.
If I have a cup of tea, will you answer my question?
No, I'm here solely on a humanitarian mission because you've been here all day and you've been incredibly patient and I feel very sorry for you because I have nothing to say about this matter except for peace. Okay, go on.
Okay, thank you. Thank you so much.
Go on.
You won't wait for this gentleman. We're
Yeah,
just
come on.
running after his
Come
tail.
on. Come on.
Just think about it. This is the Trump of Europe.
Yeah.
He's giving out-
Imagine Donald Trump going and operating and he's like, okay, you're fake news. Okay, you're fake. Would you like a Big Mac? Would you like a Big Mac? Okay, and a Big Mac.
I don't want to. Here you go. You. I feel very guilty even here. Why don't I give this whole tray to you? Thank you. You tell you what, I think the whole thing. When you finish with it, bring it back. No worries. Take care.
That's the Prime Minister of the United Kingdom, one of the most powerful men in the world, one of the most powerful men in Europe, and he just went out in his freaking pajamas to give some reporters some tea. Just there's a different state of politics. You think the Secret Service, if they saw Trump doing that, they would lose their shit.
Yeah. Donald Trump would probably put a date rape pill in it, though. Probably put a roofie in it.
Yeah. He might do that.
Oh, that was funny.
And also, where the Prime Minister lives, what is it, 10 Downing Street?
Mhm.
That's what it is, right?
I think so.
I'm pretty sure it's 10 Downing Street. Like, I'm sure they don't use the same entrance, like, every single, like, how does that work? I mean, the state, look at this. This is where the Prime Minister lives, okay?
Yeah.
And I mean, that's crazy.
And you can actually, I was watching this video, you can go up and knock, like, ring the doorbell.
This is crazy to me.
Mm-hmm.
Does he, do you know, Dylan, does the Prime Minister, do they actually leave through that door?
Yeah, like, you've seen Theresa May give speeches. She walks
I
outside.
have, yeah. There's Theresa May right there at the door of 10 Downing Street. That's just insane. Imagine that That would never happen. Like you see, when we Dylan and I just took a trip to
Fucking America, bitch.
we just took a trip to the White House. We saw snipers on the top of the White House. There were snipers there. Like
That's scary, Neil. Okay?
I mean, I'm surprised there's not a crowd of people. There's always people around the White House.
Yeah. And know what we noticed when we were there? No Americans. They all were speaking other languages.
Yeah.
It's English, all of them. Literally all of them.
Every tourist there was not from the US. It was really funny. But also it just shows like even in this like probably arguably the most influential political debate situation in the 21st century, what's going on right now in Europe with Brexit, and yet you do not see there's a lot of chaos, but I feel like it doesn't get as personal. You know what I mean? I mean, it gets pretty bad. I'm sure have you seen the House of Commons debate?
Mm-mm.
It's absolutely insane. It's Commons debate Brexit. Damn it.
So I'll give them something to remember, like the Alamo.
The House of Commons is like absolutely it's absolutely crazy.
Well, is that the one? It's like super cramped, right?
Yeah, and they're all going like they're actually not allowed to clap, so they just scream at the top of their lungs when they agree with something. I'm not kidding. They're
You're not allowed to clap?
No, so they just scream. I'm not kidding. So they go, so the technical phrase was supposed to be hear him, like hear what he has to say. But that is they just go, hear. It's absolute chaos. You think that Congress is bad here? Nothing compared to how chaotic this is.
Brexit debate continues in the House of Commons after lawmakers have dealt a major blow to Prime Minister Theresa May, resoundingly rejecting her Brexit deal just 17 days before the UK is due to leave the bloc. Let's listen in to the debate happening now in the House of Commons.
Own deal has been decisively rejected. When will she listen to those workers who are concerned about their jobs, those businesses are concerned about their future, and accept the case there has to be a negotiated customs union with the EU?
Prime Minister, when it comes to the CBI said that the Labour government's policies would lead to a drop in living standards. That's not very good.
Neil, her voice sounds like your joke voice when you're trying to make fun of somebody.
I know. She really has been talking for a very long time.
But he talks about a customs union, which of course was part of proposals he put forward. But it's yet another position that he's taken. He's moved to being in favour of a second referendum, but I know that last night he didn't actually refer to a second referendum. He's just spoken about a deal, about a customs union that's already been rejected, and actually, in the past, very often rejected by him.
Jeremy Corbyn! Speaker, it would be rather reckless to rule out any option at the present time that the Prime Minister would have thought. I don't think her answer will help workers at Honda in Swindon or those in Nissan in Sunderland or many others that are very concerned about their...
Okay, so this isn't very, I don't really know what the hell they're talking about, but it's actually rather civil. I'm trying to look for like the screaming. I mean, it just shows. Bottom line is it's a very volatile. It's very volatile, and I mean, Theresa May, she resigned. I mean,
Imagine that in America. Somebody disagrees with even to that extent.
the last president to resign is a name we all remember and we all know very, very well. I'm sure
George
you know.
Washington.
George
right?
Washington. Richard Nixon. Richard.
Oh, right.
What is his name? Milhouse? Is that his name? Richard Milhouse Nixon?
Yep.
And that guy was fucking crazy.
Yeah.
Here's what I want to show you. Brexit vote fails. so the parliament is like desperately scrambling to try to pass a bunch of stuff, right? But let me show you how that turns out. Again, a bunch of stuff. Let me show you how that turns out.
You care about your car? Then check
Oh,
this out.
Jesus Christ.
Okay, but car, check this shit.
On motions relating to the United Kingdom's
So
withdrawal
this is the Speaker of the House of Commons, John Bercow.
from and future relationship with the European Union. In respect of Mr. Barron's motion B, brackets no deal, the ayes were 160, the noes were 400. So the noes have it. In respect of Mr. Nicholas Foles' motion D, Common Market 2.0,
Love this guy is a powerful man in England.
the noes
I love that guy's a powerful man in England.
were
I'm a little hobbit man and I forgot to comb my hair.
Yeah, so the noes have it. In respect of George Eustace's motion H, EFTA and EEA, the ayes were 65, the noes were 377. So the noes have it. In respect of Mr.
You can actually see the motions down here. So let's go back and read some of them. So again, these are all failing. So motion B, UK leaves with no deal, failed.
In noes, and
Number D, letter D, continue in common market with EU. I have no idea what that means. I'm assuming that means like a deal. What does that mean? Continue in common market with EU. I'm assuming that means some economic ties.
Yeah.
in
Remain in the European Economic Area, but United Kingdom to remain outside of European Union Customs Union. So I do know what this means. This means so the European Economic Area is basically
You would keep all the rights of being in the European Union.
except you still have to follow their laws and you don't get any actual say in their laws.
Yeah.
So literally a horrible deal. But they would stay outside of the customs union, which means that they wouldn't have to accept people from other EU countries living in their country.
Mm-hmm.
But it's still a pretty bad deal. Let's see how.
In respect of Mr. Kenneth Clark's motion J, Customs Union, the ayes were 264, the noes were 272.
So that failed by a narrow margin, as you can see.
So the noes have it. In respect of the leader of the
So they vote J. Any deal must include United Kingdom-wide customs union with EU. Wow, so this is basically saying the opposite of that motion. We have whatever deal we want, but it doesn't matter which deal, but we want to remain in the customs union.
the opposition's motion K, Labour's alternative plan, the ayes were 237, the noes were 307. So the noes have it. In respect of Joanna Kerry's motion L,
Rebecca, he says that. So the Labour Party plan for the European Union Customs Union alignment with single market. Okay, I don't know what single market is.
to avoid no deal, the ayes were 184, the noes were 293. So the noes have it. In respect of Dame Margaret Beckett's motion F,
So no deal vote. If rejected, government must revoke Brexit. Article 50. So I guess no deal vote. If rejected, government must revoke Brexit. So I guess if the no deal vote doesn't pass, Brexit ends.
M, confirmatory public vote. The ayes were 268, the noes were 295. So the no
I love that one guy. Yes, and then it ended up failing.
have it.
Like,
In
why would
respect
you say yes? Couldn't they just tally it up in their heads?
Yeah, well,
I
there are
missed something.
some people that don't vote.
Oh, there are?
Like you can abstain.
Mr. Marcus Fish's motion O, contingent referendum.
Oh my god, my doorbell is ringing. Okay, sorry. I'm really sorry about that. I didn't know. All right, Dylan, keep talking.
All right, I'll keep talking, I guess. Yeah, I do think that it'll be a little crazy. I don't even know what it would be like in America if everybody wanted to start seceding, or I mean, I guess I have to know a little bit. It's kind of what's going on now. But even still, it seems like such a clusterfuck where you have everybody, I don't know. Yeah. It just seems like Europe is such a crazy place. Like there's so many, like there's like a bajillion borders and everybody has their own personal beliefs. Like even more so than America, because you have all these nationalities.
There are a bajillion borders, yet there are 0 border crossings.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So let's keep watching this because this demonstrates. So you can see all these different proposals all getting shot down.
Mm-hmm.
Spoiler alert: they all fail, every single one. So this one, deal must go to public vote. Basically, they redo it. They have the referendum again, except it's legally binding this time. Right?
The ayes were 139, the noes were 422. So the noes have it.
You can see how chaotic Parliament is.
Finishing my statement, I don't require any help from the government chief.
So the next one is, if no deal, government to seek preferential trade deal with European Union.
Mm-hmm.
So if they exit with no deal, then they try to seek a trade union.
List showing how honourable, he'll learn, so you should listen, he'll learn. The list showing how honourable and right honourable members voted will be published in the usual way on Commons Vote app and website.
And that failed as well. Every single thing failed.
Mm-hmm.
Those were 8 of them. 8 of them we voted on, 8 of them failed, including a vote to basically a cop-out, to say, okay, the people vote again and we'll go with that.
Yeah.
Everything failed.
Interesting. Ooh.
Nothing. Everything about Brexit is an absolute standstill.
Yeah.
The only thing that's changing is that
you have all these different beliefs, but then you still have all these people that are just assholes.
Yeah. The only thing that's progressing with Brexit is that Boris Johnson was elected prime minister, and that's basically pro-Brexit.
Mm-hmm. Interesting.
All right. So any other news on
the interwebs?
Yeah.
I don't think so. Why don't you look, Neil?
Okay. Let's see.
Yeah. Well, I'll be curious to see what this Boris Johnson character does.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. All right. Neil, do you want to stop soon just because we seem kind of like we talked and I have to use the bathroom too?
Okay. Well, I know we do have to stop this. Actually, we do have to stop this early.
Yeah.
I do need to go somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
So unfortunately,
As do I.
We don't have our normal
times.
Our normal length. But with 2 Americans talking about Brexit, we don't really have
acting like ignorant fucks.
I mean, so what do you think? What is your opinion on Brexit, Dylan, as an American citizen, as a red-blooded American?
I mean, it seems like most of the problem is socially. It has nothing really to do economically. I mean, obviously it's going to be a shit show economically, but like I don't even know if I can really comment on it because it seems like the whole situation is based more off the public.
So you mean the public really care? So you see the issues more like public opinion.
Like culturally, that's the word I'm trying to think of. It's a cultural issue. And obviously I have no, because obviously it's not economic.
Well,
So
it's going to have effects on the economy, but you're saying the public's decision on it isn't based on the economy.
Exactly.
Decision is
So I
so,
don't-
even though
It's hard to comment. I mean, and there's so many moving. I mean, you have all of it is based on the history of all of the United Kingdom. Like, I mean, it's really, it's an unbelievably enormous issue. I mean, I don't even know where to, I'm sure most people don't know where to start with it.
right.
I sure don't. So, I don't know. What do you think about it?
I think I think it's a fucking terrible idea. The United Kingdom already had so much power in the European Parliament. They were one of the most influential. Let's actually, this is a good idea. Let's look up the European Parliament seats real quick and see how much was held by the United Kingdom, or still is actually. European Parliament. Parliament. So, all right. All right. So here's the Wikipedia page for the European Parliament, and so we have. I don't know if these are parties or if these are. I want to look at the delegation size, like from each country. Remember, here we go. So 12% are from Germany, 10%, basically 9.9, 10% France, 10% Italy, 10% UK. So they are fourth place in the amount of seats they have in the European Parliament, or 73 seats.
Interesting.
So the UK sends 73 people out of 751. Now that seems like a really small amount, and it is. But they have a plurality, it's still roughly 10%.
Yeah.
It's the exact same as Italy, right?
Mm-hmm.
One less than France.
Mm-hmm.
So they basically are they're basically one means nothing. They're second under Germany.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, I mean, and economically, it's an absolute, they absolutely have, look, I understand not wanting to follow some supranational organization's laws, but let's look at a risk versus reward, okay? Like, I think this is just a bunch of anti-globalist sentiment that's been building up in the world for a while. I can understand not wanting to follow some supranational organization's laws, but honestly, their laws are, I don't think they're that restrictive, really. I don't think they really affect anyone that much.
Mm-hmm.
And look at the benefits, okay? They have a huge say in the parliament, at least comparatively speaking. They have, and they have huge economic incentives from it, and they don't have to have terrorists in Northern Ireland. Scotland gets to stay in the United Kingdom because otherwise Scotland would probably leave. Wales doesn't have chaos in their farmers, and also there isn't a massive political fallout.
Yeah.
Anyways, that's just two dumb red-blooded Americans' opinions. The Brexit, the British exit from the European Union. Again, unfortunately, we have to go early this episode because you both have somewhere to go. But the next episode should be its normal length. Thank you, everybody, for watching, and goodbye.
Bye.